Good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a great Friday/Saturday. Hope you're excited for another F1 Fantasy Deadline stream. So welcome back if it's your first, your 100th, or somewhere in the middle. Welcome back for the third F1 Fantasy live stream on Formula Fantasy Hub. I hope you guys are having a great start to your weekend. A little bit to get through in the next 2 hours. And for those of you tuning in from all random hours and corners of the world, great to have you in the house. Mike, Gillis D, Dean, Michael, Scratty Gal, You Eat Soap, the usual suspects. Brand, great to have you back, all of you guys. Plenty of regular attendees in the live stream. And I know it's late for some of you. Shout out to Dean, Count C Law, 4 a.m. I believe in the UK, Europe, they're thereabouts. So really got to show the love to those guys who are tuning in from the most obscene hours. Hope you guys are keen though for another stream, because I certainly am. So unpack from practice, and yeah, for those of you that are thinking about Limitless, it's certainly a point of conversation this weekend. You can already see that I've activated Limitless on Team 3 on the right-hand side of the screen. Plan was always to do one Team China, one Team Japan, one Team Monaco. I still feel like that's the plan of attack at this point in time. Maybe Canada, but I want to do Monaco. I just felt last year was good for the team, so that's the plan for Limitless this time around. Stream elements seem to be working all right. I got a few comments and thoughts of my own in the ticker, the red bar along the bottom of the screen. So check those out before you ask a question. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video. It always helps immensely with growing the community, growing the exposure to the game. It's always appreciated. So yeah, let's start from the top. Quite a few contributors already. Radio Paddocks, Joe's here, Sammy's back. I just had a dizzy spell. But yeah, lots of people showing out. It's midnight where I am. It's 4, 5, 6 a.m. in UK and Europe. The only time of day it's really practical is anyone in Asia and Australia and New Zealand. So yeah, first question. Let's kick things off. Zillisdy, Zillisdy. What do you think about Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Bortoletto, Lindblad, Mercedes, Ferrari? Audi did indeed have a good free practice 3. I have to give him that. In my opinion, and I got it in the ticker on the bottom here, like it is probably the team that if they weren't looking so toxic, I'd be really wanting a piece of Nico Hulkenberg right now. And I definitely think come Miami, people will be clamoring for the German driver once that DNF falls off his trailing average. So I think just looking at the team, it just feels, and I know Mike's answered that question in the stream chat as well, it just feels a little too early for Audi, if I'm being honest, a week too early. I think Hulk's a great asset in Miami, Bortoletto probably the week after that. But even though you're obviously chasing points here with Mercedes Ferrari, I think the sacrifice of a 1.2 million loss from those two assets definitely offsets the benefit of any points. I've got to shout out Michael, running on fumes but more functional than an Aston Martin. I kind of have to say I feel exactly the same way. I've had a pretty chaotic week this week, so for those of you who follow me on Twitter, not as much activity as I would have liked, but we are pushing on. I have a flight to catch tomorrow, so we go straight from the stream to sleep for 5 hours, and up and off to the airport. So put me in your thoughts tomorrow on 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Mike's in the house indeed. Dean's got 3 completely different teams to fix. Can't even sleep yet. Fair enough, man. Oh, we are so back, Cookie. We are so back. Will you use any Team 1 chips? No, I won't be using any Team 1 chips, Joe. Unless we have any random mail between now and the qualifying. It's just not really a weekend of chips for me. 9 p.m. in Canada. You must be on the West Coast, Vinter, because it's 12 on the East Coast over here. 5 a.m. in Spain. Yeah, wow. George, well done, man. Showing out. Got to respect that. It's the last early one for pretty much anyone in Europe and the UK for the foreseeable, though, because go back onto North America, the next couple races, then we're into the European leg. So you guys in Europe and the UK, you're probably past the worst of it until we get back to Vegas and Brazil. Actually, no, that wouldn't even matter. That would just be a nighttime race. So yeah, past the worst of it. Maybe Singapore, I suppose. Mate, are you keeping Bortoletto in Team 1? No, I am not. I have not made my transfers yet. I'll do that closer to the deadline, but they're going to be pretty self-explanatory for me this week, I think. Hamilton, Orlando for Limitless. Piastri. Oh, I guess, yeah, probably Hamilton. Lima, probably Hamilton. I mean, the McLaren, I really, for a moment, was envious of people who were going to use, I mean, I guess I've used Limitless on my Team 3, right? But, you know, I was very envious for a moment when McLaren looked so good that triple McLaren seemed like a realistic option. And then classic reliability issues for the third week in a row for this team. Lando's been struck down by those in free practice 3. The dream of the McLaren constructor is out the window. And I think where you can really thrive with the Limitless chip is when you've got template, or maybe not template assets, but first of all, assets that are low owned by those non-Limitless teams. But second of all, if you can somehow, we take McLaren as a great example, right? All 3 of their assets are very likely to decrease in price this weekend. If you can bring them into your team and you're only getting the points, not the budget loss, and they have a great weekend, you not only dodge the budget loss if you were someone that brought in Piastri on a non-Limitless team, but you get, you know, the points upside as differential assets no one else owns. So like that's the kind of perfect scenario where, you know, let's say it wasn't a reliability issue last week, it was a crash. That's clearly not the driver's, it was clearly not the car's fault. So yeah, I'm not sure if you get what I'm saying, but I do think it probably kind of puts paid to any ideas of realistically running a double or a McLaren triple up. I think triple Ferrari, triple Mercedes, and Piastri are the safe bets this week. So I'm going Hamilton, Lima beaming. Mate, are you keeping Bortoletto? No, I am not. We got the ball down by 3, Rob. 44 seconds to go. CBS New York has never seen such a live audience. Is this the MSU game, M. Dot? It must be, right? The Connecticut State game. I have not checked the scores, but we will shortly, I'm sure. I can't lie, I'm half tempted to jump back onto the Racing Bulls constructor. I mean, I think Haas is perfectly fine as well, to be honest. I'd still back Haas. Yeah, you know, a million more than Racing Bulls, but for you, I just think you're getting a bit more certainty from the Haas constructor, race pace wise, experience overtakes. I wouldn't be like going from Haas to Racing Bulls or Racing Bulls to Haas. That just feels like a sideways trade when we're going to need these transfers in a week's time or 2 weeks' time for Mercedes. Pick Hulkenberg and hold for minimum 2 GPs. I mean, you could, William. I think he's going to be viable next week for sure, or next race for sure. But I'm happy to wait on Hulk just one more week. And at least in my team, like you might be in a different situation where you've got 106 million, right? 106.6. I'm 104.6. So I'm really on the back foot with budget among engaged managers after Bortoletto and Lawson have screwed me the last 2 races. Lawson went down 0.2 in Australia and Bortoletto went down 0.6 last week. So that's like a 1.2 million swing, more or less, team value wise. So a lot of people, you know, who started out triple V carb have, you know, 106.6 and I'm 2 million short. Motivation Fuels has Verstappen, Ferrari, Ocon, Lawson, Gasly, Racing Bulls have 8.5 in the bank. What to do? Keep or take a hit? Man, I'd be getting off Verstappen ASAP. Excuse me, how rude. 8.5 in the bank's a lot to carry. I think, could you get down? What about downgrading Verstappen to Antonelli? And, you know, I'd even consider taking a -10 to get off Verstappen and Gasly. Could you get Verstappen and Gasly out for Antonelli Leclerc potentially? Like, if you can do that, I think that's great. Leave the rest as is. My entire team is going up in points, in value. I'm assuming you mean Chuko Potamo. Should I use Limitless? Yes. Well, I think that's a great time to use Limitless if your team value is increasing in price. What's the advantage of Limitless today versus Sprint Weekend? It's all about the Delta Alyssa. It's not necessarily just about pure points. So if a non-Limitless team scores 250 points, a non-Limitless team scores 200 points and a Limitless team scores 100 points on a non-sprint weekend, that's better than a Limitless team scoring 75 more points on a sprint weekend. And because overtakes are a lot more difficult in Japan, that's where like that delta is bridged. I've got a video on that on my Limitless guide last week, Alyssa, so I'd check that out. There's more information in that. Thank you, Swaya. Good luck to you too. What do we do with Gabby Bortz? Michael's asking. I genuinely think he's a sell. He's a 2-week sell. He's definitely a sell for this week and next. I 100% would say Gabby's an option in Canada potentially, or when we get to Europe, but I think the priority should still, not the priority, but like a priority should, sorry, I thought I heard something, should still be building budget at this point in time. So if you can pivot off Gabby, I'll be selling Bortoletto, and why don't we just take a look? Like I'm like pretty much locked on these moves for this week. I'm not going to lock it in just yet in case we have any late mail, but this is almost certainly going to be my team at the deadline today. For any of you guys wondering what my moves are. Who are you bringing in for Bortoletto? We're not showing yet. I just shared it, Joe. There you go. Good timing. I have Bortoletto but want to use Limitless. Do I just take the price drop? Max, I feel that's fair. It's if you really want to use it, go for it. I think I did not have a great budget rise on Limitless last week. So if I go over to my team analyzer on F1 Fantasy Tools, if you are not a member to F1 Fantasy Tools, you should absolutely consider subscribing. My discount code is Hub50 right above me. I only went up 2.1 million on Limitless last week because of Bortoletto. So it could have been 3.3, but because he went down 0.6 and didn't go up 0.6, that's a $1.2 million swing. Whereas my team 2, right, went up 3.3. So I maximized the price rises of every asset in that team. Just accept, Joe, that you're likely you're not maximizing your budget. I mean, there's nothing wrong with waiting for Canada or Monaco for Limitless, and I know there are other people out there entertaining the same. I see the appeal, but I don't think it's that good. What do I make of the Audi constructor? I think I'd swerve for now, AFN. I just think there's more value in Haas and Racing Bulls at the moment. You need to be, and I don't even know what their price rise thresholds are. I can't imagine it's great though after what we saw last week. 24 is not impossible. They do have their work cut out for them at Japan though. I would say Audi again are probably 1 more week away, to be honest. But 24, assuming both drivers finish the race, finishing the points, pit stops, like 24 is very attainable for a max rise. If you're looking to move to Mercedes next week, though, I just wouldn't bother with Audi for 1 week. I'd just roll the transfer or save it if you can for flexibility. Sorry, I missed a couple questions. Midnight for you in Miami. Me too, Kuka. Lawson or Ocon to replace Bortoletto? I'm inclined to say I think Lawson's a more assured budget increase, to be honest. And the other thing is, with pivoting to Mercedes in a week or two's time, Ocon's probably a casualty. Like he's a transfer out. So I think if you're bringing in Ocon this week, you're booking a transfer in a week's time to move him out to redistribute the funds. So I think Lawson, he's pretty much locked. I probably jinxed it by saying it now, but I'd say Lawson's in a really good chance for a 0.6 rise. A lot would have to go wrong for him to not get to the max increase. So, and he's probably a 2-week hold with that 35 in China. So Lawson for me. You eat soap. Michael Ooze 40. I've got your team 1 with 3 transfers. Should I limitless or swap Bottas and Russell for Antonelli Behrman? Yeah, I'd probably move off Bottas and set your team up. I think the thing is, if you're carrying Bortoletto into or Bottas, if you're pretty much carrying any driver that is signs or below into so Signs, Gasly down to the Aston Martins. If you have any of these guys in your team and you want to run Limitless, you're essentially booking yourself in for a -10 hit, because you'll need to take out the toxic asset. You'll have to redistribute the funds to the Mercedes constructor if that's what you want to do. And there's probably another transfer involved to, again, reallocate money. So just, again, you kind of have to be thinking a week or two ahead at the moment with Mercedes on the horizon. I'm really behind in the chat, and I'm usually so much better at this. I'm going to put a poll up because I'm curious to see if many people are you running Limitless this week on any of your teams? Back to my team. Russell or Antonelli? I think points alone Russell, but forward planning Antonelli. Is switching Bortoletto for Perez a good move? Yep, I think it is. Why is Limitless an option in a non-sprint weekend? Devs is asking. It's the points delta. So it's probably a 5-minute explanation, Devs. I answered this question about 5 minutes ago. It's all about the points delta, so the points you can score against those non-limitless teams in that same weekend, not just maximizing most points. My Limitless guide on my channel explains that to a T. Keep Bortoletto for Russell, Kimi, or upgrade Bortoletto. I don't quite understand that. Arya, Dev Corona. Keep Bortoletto for Russell, Kimi, or upgrade Bortoletto to Colapinto. If you could just do Bortoletto to Colapinto in one move, I would do that. Are you thinking Bortoletto Perez or Russell Antonelli and Bortoletto Behrman? I'm currently on the Russell Antonelli Bortoletto Behrman Beanit, because I really would like to have Bortoletto. Sorry, not Bortoletto. Would really like to have Behrman in Miami. So I guess my final thoughts lineup decision wasn't really that much different to my team selection. And I think Russell's a much better option for points this week than Antonelli, but I think the value Antonelli provides, Russell also doesn't have as high a ceiling because he is not driver of the day material. So anyway, back to kind of, again, those of you asking, my likely moves this week are, if I can find Oliver Behrman, Antonelli and Behrman in for Bortoletto and Russell. And the plan would be to ideally I could do it in 2 moves, but I don't think it's going to be possible. Go from Haas and Leclerc in Miami to Mercedes. I just won't be able to do that in 2 moves, unfortunately. I could do, Bottas would go down to 4.1. So I would catch that on the rise next week, because I'd have 0.9 from Haas and Leclerc going up in value most likely. But I don't necessarily feel like Bottas is what I want. I wouldn't be against it. Could I get to Hulkenberg? So he would be 5 next week. All things being equal, because Mercedes would go up 0. Haas and Leclerc would go up 0.6, and Mercedes and Hulkenberg would go down net 0.3. I think I'd just miss out on being able to do Hulkenberg in 2 moves. Ideally, I would run this team in Miami and then Mercedes Hulkenberg, but I don't think I could do it. So it would probably be a third transfer. It'd be kind of Hulkenberg in and then whatever, maybe Perez or something, depending on price changes. Lawson or Ocon. Lawson, is it not time for 2A constructor? Not for my team, but I'm seeing a lot of people run it at 106.6 team value. I'd think about it if I had 106.6, because not a lot of non-limitless teams will have Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli this week. Hey Rob, would you go Bortoletto to Perez? Yeah, I would definitely. Russell Antonelli, Yukon 1, 67, 63. Damn it. Well, Michigan State are out. That's a bummer. Thoughts on Limitless with Antonelli, Hamilton, Behrman, Lindblad, Ocon, Ferrari, Racing Bulls from China? Yeah, I'd probably do it. Pronate. I'd probably do that. Webpage keeps resetting for me, not every 30 seconds, more like every 10 seconds. Yeah, I don't get it. Sometimes the webpage resets and other times it doesn't at all. So that was me refreshing it, not the webpage. But yeah, that's It's a bit annoying. I'm sure you guys have seen it in my team selection videos. I'm trying to talk through a topic of conversation and it just disappears. Let's go, brother. I wish the web page would stop refreshing my moves. I sometimes do it, play around in the app because it doesn't do that. Is Bortoletto to Lawson good? Yes, it definitely is. It's AJTBH. Mike completely agrees. Hang on. I'm trying to... The Gaming God. Sell Lindblad for Lawson. Have Kimmy, George, Arvid, Behrman. Yeah, I would do the Lindblad for Lawson trade for sure. Because I think the Gaming God, if I think my team 2 had that exact lineup, Gaming God. It had Russell, Antonelli, and then Colapinto, Arvid, Lindblad, Behrman, Ferrari, V-Carb, and they were all expected to rise, so I just pulled a Limitless. But I would have, if I didn't do that, I would have gone Arvid down to Lawson. One, because it's 0.5 million cheaper. I think Lindblad's probably kind of at his peak or at his ceiling for the moment, and hasn't looked as confident as he did in Australia. And I also think there's like a much higher threshold for Lawson to increase, much lower threshold for Lawson to increase in price. Best team for budget building: Hamilton, Alec. Who's Alec? Is that Lindblad? Alec. Oh, Leclerc. Hamilton, Leclerc, Ocon. Hang on, that doesn't make sense. Hamilton, Alec, Ocon, Behrman, Antonelli, RB, Mercedes, Lec. Hamilton, Alec. Who's Alec? Is it Lindblad? I don't know who Lec is. Who Alec is. But it can't be Leclerc because you can't have... No one can afford RB, Mercedes, Antonelli, Hamilton, and Leclerc. But that's a good team for building budget. I don't know who Alec is, Gort, but I think it looks great for Limitless this week. Gort. We are out of Gort license plates. Franco or Lawson? Lawson. Colapinto or Perez in for Bortoletto? Colapinto. Piastri or Hamilton? I'm assuming that's on a Limitless Sebastian. If it is, Piastri. But if it isn't, I wouldn't go to either of them. Should I get rid of Lindblad? Jinghang? I think it depends on what the transfer is. Like, I think the only drivers I would sell Lindblad for this week are the 2 Haas drivers. Again, I wouldn't go from Lindblad to Ocon if you're planning for Mercedes next week, because Ocon again is a transfer out. So Colapinto, Lawson are probably my 2 favorite Lindblad replacements. Maybe Perez or Ocon. But if you're planning ahead, hardest Kosh, you again, I think Perez, because Ocon, again, if anyone is targeting Mercedes in Miami and they don't own Ocon, I wouldn't be buying Ocon, put it that way. Lindblad to Lawson, Chewy for sure, 100%. Perez or Colapinto for Bortoletto? Colapinto. I have 1 transfer left. Would you do Lindblad to Lawson or roll? Depends what that first transfer was, Chewy. But I guess, yeah. I mean, I would say ordinarily I'd do Lindblad to Lawson. And I think Mika. Is that Mika? Mika? I don't know for sure. I only ask that because of the Michigan State reference. So 60% of you are not running a Limitless team on any of your 3 teams. That's interesting. That is really interesting. I mean, to be fair, it's not like... I don't feel overwhelmingly confident in the Limitless lineup because Hamilton looks a little off. Piastri is in that McLaren that, again, is... It's Aston Martin reliability one day and it's Mercedes reliability the next day. So, there you go. There you go. I thought so. There you go, Mika. So, yeah, I just think, like... It's strange because I have less confidence in Hamilton and Piastri or Hamilton and the 5th driver this week than I did last week. But obviously, the 5th driver slot was cursed for anyone in China on Limitless. So, I don't know. We can't predict DNFs, but it's Japan, right? We might end up seeing more reliability creep in. sooner rather than later. And that's the thing. There's not, it doesn't feel sure as it was because, I mean, it's not like Ferrari and Mercedes have had overly concerning weeks lately with the reliability. They're the two most reliable cars on the grid right now, along with, say, Haas. Yeah, probably just Haas. And so I'm sure the coin falls. Is that the expression? The coin falls, the coin lands on the other side. And, you know, there are scenarios where Russell or Antonelli or Hamilton retire due to reliability, but they've looked good so far. The problem is Hamilton just isn't confident in the car. We saw him say he just doesn't have any confidence. It's not driving well. And that's not what you want to hear when you're activating a limitless chip. So I understand people who have got cold feet, but there are still plenty of great options. We've got Canada. I mean, I haven't personally looked into Canada that much for limitless. I know Montreal is not a huge overtaking circuit. I think that changes a lot this year with the overtaking, the new regulations. Because that main straight down heading into turn 1, or the last turn heading into Wall of Champions, like that's going to be a field day of overtakes there. There isn't really many opportunities to, and I guess the main straight as well. Beyond that, maybe coming out of turn 1, there are some overtaking opportunities in Canada. But through the second half of turn 1, all throughout sector 1, sector 2, heading into the hairpin, like there's really not a lot of overtaking zones. I know that last year there's that DRS zone along the back, but I think, yeah, drivers will have more opportunities to overtake in Canada this year for sure. Reverses to 2 transfers if you activate limitless, yes. Power Up has 105.3 million. Kimi Leclerc, Berman, Colapinto, Lindblad, Ferrari Racing Bulls. That's a great team, Power Up. Fluffy Wonders, I only have 2 transfers and I still have Bortoletto on my team. Should I final fix him out, take the -10 hit, or just leave him in? Wouldn't use the final fix on Bortoletto because you're still getting his budget. At that point, I would just leave him in. 10-point hit for Bortoletto. It depends on what your other transfers were, Fluffy Wonders. But -10 for Bortoletto, I'd say so because he's toxic for the next 2 race weekends. So I'd look at it as apportioning the -10 across. You're just taking a -5 this weekend and a -5 the next week for Bortoletto. K-Strong, would you wildcard into Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Lawson, Lindblad, Colapinto, Perez, or keep the 2 driver lineup? I would save the wildcard, K-Strong. There's going to be better opportunities for it later in the season. If your team won, if you had 3 transfers, what would you do? If I had 3 transfers this week, I would do my exact moves and roll the 3rd to Miami. I'd just go Russell, Antonelli, and Bortoletto, Berman. Reliability makes limitless worrying. Indeed, it does. If I have 105.4, should I replace Leclerc, Lindblad, and Bortoletto for Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Lawson, or should I do Lindblad to Lawson and Bortoletto to Colapinto? I would do the second option, orange. I do the Lindblad to Lawson, Bortoletto to Colapinto, preserve that budget. Poll is slightly biased because you didn't ask who already used it. Maybe I didn't ask who already used it, real funny talk. But I guess it was across all 3 teams, right? So it was more just, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's a poll. Antonelli v. Russell. For points, Russell for sure. But if you're planning for Mercedes in a week or 2's time, Antonelli. Is it better to bring Lawson or Behrman to avoid a -10 in Miami to get the 2A constructor? Better to bring in Lawson or Behrman. Sim on V2. You asked another question, Sim. I missed that. Yeah, you did. Sorry, Sim. I missed your question before. First of all, I don't think 2A is the right time this week unless you're at 106.5, 106.6. The second thing is... I lost your question, Sim. There we go. I think Behrman is the better of the 2 options this week for sure, points and value. But Lawson at 1.7 million is not a small amount of money. And they're both going to go up 0.6 million almost certainly. So I think Lawson gives you more flexibility in Miami because of that 1.7. It's going to be super handy. But I think Behrman's going to be good in Miami. I think there's lots of overtaking. You know, we all know how good he is for overtakes. He's the overtake king. Perez was 20th in FP3. That's right. And he probably qualifies 20th. He starts 20th, finishes 20th. It's just if the car can stay in one piece until the end of the race. Verstappen and Leclerc to Russell and Antonelli. Verstappen to Hulkenberg and Racing Bulls. What is going on with my screen? It just keeps refreshing. Okay, the question was from Mercier. Oh, hang on. Jennifer asked, Bordelotto to Perez and have 3 transfers next week, or trade Russell to Antonelli Behrman and get Behrman instead. Now, that's my dilemma, Jennifer. And I am probably just going to do the Russell Behrman because I need to preserve budget. I need guaranteed budget rises. I can't have speculative budget rises. That's just my plan because I'm behind. But you might have 106, 107, 106 million, and maybe the Perez trade makes more sense for you. But for me, I'm going kind of proactive with budget this week. And hey, Rob, any Limitlesses you playing this week? Sure am, AK. It's my Team 3. And so, oh my God, Robert, you got so many questions to catch up on. I'm glad I decided to roll a transfer from China. I'm able to take Leclerc, V-Cub, Colapinto from Mercedes, Hulkenberg, Bortoletto, maybe Lawson, depending on the results. Yeah, I mean, the extra transfer is so important. Is it better to bring Lawson or Behrman to avoid... I think I answered that question, Sim. I think, yeah, you don't... In an ideal world, you don't want the -10 in Miami. So you do get Lawson or Behrman in. I don't love Limitless either. Cookie's asking, but my best team is 4,000 in the world. Ferrari V-Car, so great for budget. And I'm already carrying 3 transfers, so I kind of have to. We don't have... yeah, I guess you've got a perfect team, more or less, right? Cookie, yeah, it's annoying because you're burning a transfer that you rolled. I mean, that's a good thing. Like, you've got an incredible team, and I'm assuming you're 4,000 with the 3x last week. That's an incredible position to be in. So, Cookie, I'd be surprised if you're not inside the top 500 if you do Limitless well this week. I feed my dog edibles. I don't have a dog, and I wouldn't feed them edibles if I did. But I will answer the question all the same. What do you think of Leclerc, Behrman, Lawson, Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, and Haas? I think that's a great lineup. Bernard is asking, is it okay to get rid of Russell for Hamilton to enable budget for Behrman, Hulkenberg, and Haas? I would probably not do the Hamilton move because if you're trying to enable budget but you're bringing in Haas, it almost feels counterintuitive. Not Haas, Hulkenberg. It kind of feels counterintuitive. I think if you're ditching Russell, the only driver I would replace Russell with is Antonelli this week. I would not replace him with a Ferrari driver or a McLaren driver. Limitless on my Antonelli, Hamilton, Lindblad, Behrman, Ocon, Ferrari, Haas. Yeah, Charles, I think that's a great Limitless team, or under like a Limitless foundation. Russell or Kimi 2X. If you've got them both, Russell. Kevin, Sim, I think I answered your question. Yeah, Sim, I answered your question. Oh, okay, sorry. Is it better to bring Lawson and not Behrman or Ocon to avoid a -10 in Miami to get to the 2A constructor? Yes. If you can, I would. I wouldn't entertain Ocon at all. But yeah, if you can, I'd probably just go Lawson. Because I don't think Behrman is worth a -10. There is no big tier driver that is worth a -10 in my opinion. But yes, Sim, I would go Lawson. Hopefully that answers your question the right way this time. What about switching Lindblad for Colapinto with 3 transfers and unlocks Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Mercedes in Miami? Perfect, Dan. Love that. Perfect. I have 2 times Antonelli, Leclerc, Behrman, Ocon, Lawson with Ferrari. Haas, any changes should I make? And is Limitless an option? Limitless is definitely an option with that team. Austin? Lawson seems a little stronger this round. He does, doesn't he? He's just looking more confident. I don't think he's suddenly a points machine. Actually, I tell you what. I know, yeah, they were bunched just outside the top 10. So this is FP 3 times. I'm just checking Lawson. So, yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from him, honestly. But, you know, VCARB are one of those teams where like they do look like top 10 material in free practice areas, 12th again in FP2. They look good at some circuits and they don't look so confident at others. And then Lawson again, 8th. So he's been kind of between 8th and 12th, 8th and 13th in all free practice sessions. So, yeah, I really like what I'm seeing from Lawson fantasy-wise in 2026. Mercedes clear favourites. Oh. This weekend. What about getting the Mercedes constructor in for Ferrari, then only running one A-tier driver? I haven't thought about it, Traveled Bones. It just feels, I think if you were to do that at the team, if we go to the team calculator, right? I think it leaves a lot of money on the table if you're running. Ignore the hits here, but if I force include Mercedes and Russell, for instance, right? It's not worth it because I'm leaving. First of all, I'm leaving 7 million on the side with a Russell build, and my budget increases are just about the same as what I would be running with 2A driver, and the points are exactly the same. If I went Antonelli instead of Russell, hang on. Yeah. Yeah, I don't love that either. Because, yeah, I don't. Okay, so let's force exclude the top teams. I don't love it. Because you're leaving, if you run a Russell Mercedes, you're leaving like 8 million, 7 to 8 million on the side at 200 points and 3 point. And if I optimize my team, so if I put in Antonelli, if I force include Antonelli this week and Leclerc, it's like, yeah, it's 200. It's not worth it. I don't think Russell Mercedes, to be honest. Sim, I think your question has come through about 10 times, but every time it's been a different variation of the last one. Notwithstanding that, I'll answer it all the same. Is it better to bring in Lawson and not Behrman and avoid a -10 in Miami to get to the 2A constructed with Behrman? I will have to take -10 in Miami with Lawson, hopefully not. Yes, Sim, I think I've answered that. Lawson, go for Lawson. Drakowson, welcome back, my man. Is Audi promising? Not worth it for this week, I don't think. Audi, I'd just go VCAB or Haas. Xinghang has Russell, Leclerc, Behrman, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Ferrari, VCAB. Should I make any changes? No, just Bortoletto, I would say, for like a Colapinto or a Lawson if you can. Haas, Perez, or VCAB Ocon? VCAB Ocon, I think. Yeah, VCAB Ocon. I don't overly trust the Cadillac reliability. Nixie says, so is this your final choice to keep? No, it's not. I haven't used my transfers yet. I'm not looking at my transfers until 10 minutes before, 20 minutes before the deadline. Rob, you could do Russell, Bortoletto to Antonelli, Colapinto. Then you would be able to get to Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli in Miami. Essentially, is Behrman worth a -10? That's the thing, Nixie. I looked at this one before. I don't think Behrman is worth a -10 for a single week, but over multiple weeks, I think he pays it off. I did actually look at something similar. I think for me, Nixie, the problem is, because I could do this, right? And then in Miami, I go Mercedes in and Hülkenberg, right? Hülkenberg. So I'm essentially, it's Colapinto or Behrman plus a -10. The thing is, I'm a bit behind on budget, and maybe it looks stupid if Colapinto goes up 0.6 in Japan, but the Alpine Festival, Colapinto hasn't looked that great so far this weekend. The other thing is I'm about 1 to 2 million behind most people on budget because Bortoletto has screwed me over. So I want a sure riser in budget just for the next couple of weeks in Behrman. And I think the -10... If I have to take a -10 in Miami, I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm not going to be mad about it. I would need a perfect weekend though to be able to roll that into transfers next week. I'm kind of accepting of the fact that I'm taking a -10 in Miami, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Because again, I could do Colapinto. Because in 2 moves, yeah, it's 4.1. So if I really wanted to do it in 2 moves, I just get Bottas in because he drops. Yeah. I just get Bottas in if I wanted to. Because, yeah, Hulk will go down to 5. Mercedes will go up. So, makes me 4.7. I'm 4.7 better off. 4.4 because Mercedes goes up. 4.4. 4.7 because Charles goes up. 5.3. All things being equal. Okay, this is... I'm going to steal Ewan's quote. Ewan's phrase. But if my loosey-goosey math serves me correctly, I may be able to get to Hulkenberg and Mercedes in 2 moves next week. Because Leclerc and Haas go up 0.9. Or maybe I'm just short. Anyway, it's future Rob's problem. And like I said, I'm okay with a -10 if I take that. Look at me talking about my own team and not thinking about you guys. So inconsiderate and so many questions for me to catch up on. I'm usually so much better at this. Jeremy, welcome as a member of the Hub Club. That sounds so sus. I really need to change that, hey. As a race winner, member. Welcome, my man. I mean, you've been an OG supporter of the channel for as long as I can remember, Jeremy. So I appreciate you joining. Always great to have you in the community, mate. Have I activated Limitless on Team 3? Rebecca, indeed I have. Bortoletto or Hulkenberg? Hulkenberg. All right, catching up. I'm going to do a speed round in questions. Colapinto or Lindblad? Colapinto. I'm thinking Limitless because I just can't stand being at the bottom of my private league over the next month. Fair enough, Modest Cowboy. I have Haas. What is your suggestion? I switched to VCarb. I would not do that. 300 people watching, only 30 likes. Let's get this man some likes. Sim, you are my hype man / woman. Hype supporter of the channel. Appreciate you, Sim. Appreciate you guys dropping a like. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hey, I heard there is some website where there are different AIs competing in F1 Fantasy, but I can't find it. Anyone have a link? Yes, Mike. I will tell you that right now, and I can find that. I'll give that because actually I'm not going to look up my messages on the live stream, but I will find the message that was sent to me, and I will put it in the chat if you want to. Where are my chat messages? Here we are. Because, yeah, he was on Range channel last week, and I thought it was... I tell you what, let's just do it now. I'll paste it in the browser, and we can have a look. So this is what I saw on Range channel last week, who spammed me. And you should spam Rain and say Rob sent you if you're watching his channel. But essentially, there has been someone that's created an AI model for F1 Fantasy where they have pitched GPT, Claude, and Gemini up against one another to see what the best fantasy team in the world is. And so far, Claude, I use Claude. It's incredible. I'm obsessed with Claude. Is top 7,000 in the world. GPT or Chat GPT is 15,000, which is pretty much my rank. And Gemini is a user 3x. It's 30,000 in the world. So all very good. It's pretty cool, to be honest. I really want to know who built this. This is fantastic stuff. The website is, I'll put it in the chat if you guys want to have a play around with it, because it is really cool. And Mike, I hope that answers your question. I've just put it in the chat, so check it out, guys. Really cool stuff. Did my screen not update? There it is. Yeah, so sorry, you don't want to look at the race schedule. You just want to look at the points. Can we click into this? Don't think so. But yeah, really awesome content there. I guess you can see it here, right? So Claude last week. This is their Japan team. It's a pretty good team. Well, kind of. Except for double Cadillac. I don't like that. Huh. Yeah, it's interesting. I guess they've gone the premium constructors though. Bit too early, but pop off, Claude. Anyway, that's some really interesting stuff. Bunch of freeloaders. Bunch of freeloaders, Max. Yeah, very funny, mate. Why not use the wild card? Too early for a wild card. All right. More questions I've missed. More questions I will answer. First time doing fantasy. Ant is asking, so need help. I'm 102.2 million with Mercedes, Ferrari, Leclerc. Yeah, 3 transfers. What would you do? I would transfer out. I hate to say it. And I'd probably drop Ferrari to a Haas or something and upgrade Perez and Bottas if you can. Or, yeah. Keep one of Mercedes and Ferrari, but see if you can have like Leclerc, Antonelli, and Ferrari potentially with those transfers. I know your budget might be a bit stretched. That's the only problem. Use my 2 transfers to go Kimi, Leclerc, Behrman, Lawson, Colapinto, Ferrari, Haas. Feel like I'm in a good spot. Also well set up to use 2 transfers for Miami. Thoughts? Zanderbam, I think that looks great. Ocon or Lawson. Does Hulk come into play for Miami? 100% he does. Gaming God. Akshay's got 3 transfers. If I take Limitless this weekend, it reverts to 2 transfers. That's correct. Need help with the Team 3, Rob. AK's got Russell, Hamilton, Behrman, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Ferrari, Audi, 2 free transfers. Audi's keeping me back for budget. What to do? Just Bortoletto to Lawson or -10 and fix? I'd probably just keep Audi and Bortoletto to Lawson. I'd do 2 transfers. Bortoletto to Lawson and maybe I'd do Bortoletto to Lawson and roll the other one. Hold Audi. They can get to 20 points, I think. Have the same team as you. What's the plan for this weekend? My plan transfers are Russell, Bortoletto out, Behrman, Antonelli in. Limitless for Team 3. It's on the screen and on the ticker on the bottom. Almost at 100 likes, guys. 400 of you. And 400 is not a bad turnout considering it's almost 1 in the morning in New York here and it's 5 in the morning in the UK. Why is Behrman getting a -10? He's not getting a -10. My team would be getting a -10. I just know if I bail on Colapinto, he'll do well. But I also know if I bring in Colapinto, he'll DNF. So it's... my picks for Limitless are on the screen. I've literally got a Limitless team on the screen, creeps. Why not use the wild card? Way too early. 5th driver is Piastri for me on Limitless. Bortoletto, worth saving wild card 100%. Carlos Ribiera, have 105 million in budget. Current team, Mercedes, Ferrari, Russell, Leclerc. Ocon, Bortoletto, Colapinto. How do you have Ferrari, Mercedes, and Russell and Leclerc? Russell, Antonelli, and Bortoletto, Behrman, or Ocon, Lawson, Bortoletto, Lindblad? I would do the Russell, Antonelli one. I'd do the Russell, Antonelli one. That's for Carlos. Alyssa's asking, is it necessary to switch Bortoletto? Only have budget for Perez? Yes, definitely. I would. If you only have the budget for Perez, I would do that. Is Lindblad must sell? No, he's definitely not must sell. I won't be selling him in my team one this week. Is Miami a better option for Limitless? Not necessarily, Victoria. I think it's an option. But the problem is with Miami, I look at it like China, right? It's one of those tracks where it looks good, like lots of points potential for the top drivers, but also lots of points potential for the midfield drivers. Lots of overtaking at Miami. Pretty much through all of Sector 1 and 2, there's passing zones. And the back straight as well, down into turn 1, 2. So I think we're going to see, again, Lawson, Behrman, Ocon, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Hulkenberg make overtakes like it's their job or their second job. This week, the AIs are diverging in their strategy more, so it'll be interesting to see how they compare after Japan. I agreed. In your team one, would you go for Ferrari, Mercedes with Leclerc, Perez? Not, I won't be because I don't want to. I just need Antonelli and Behrman to build budget this week. Lindblad and Lawson are a -10 for Lindblad and Hulk, or a -10 for Lawson and Perez? Lindblad and Hulk. LMK, Russell, Antonelli, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Lawson. I'm catching up on the chat, which is good. Would adore a suggestion. Russell, want Behrman, but maybe not worth shaking. Yeah. Could you do Bortoletto to Perez and roll a transfer, LMK? I mean, having Russell Antonelli this week is a great position to be in. Bortoletto to Colapinto or Bortoletto to Perez are probably my 2 moves, my suggested moves for you, LMK. And then you've got a 3rd transfer to roll into Miami. So I think that's perfectly fine. Andrew Robertson, what are your thoughts on Limitless with Leclerc, Bortoleto, Perez, Lawson, Lindblad, Mercedes, Ferrari? I would not be limitlessing that team because you ideally want to, in an ideal world, you're running a limitless team with, at the moment, a team that could increase a maximum of 3.3 million. If you're running limitless with 2 premium constructors and Bortoleto, you're probably not getting more than 1.8, 1.92 million in increased value, Andrew. So yeah, I'd probably, it's tough, man, because that team like looks okay, but Bortoleto is going down and Mercedes, Ferrari are not getting the rises that, you know, having a team with Haas might. Have Russell and Kimi worth autopilot? 100%. 100%. I mean, I'm not saying definitely use it. I'm saying autopilot is probably an option, but I think there are also going to be better opportunities. Why Limitless now and not Monaco? You could definitely wait for Monaco, Dan. I'm using a Limitless Team 2 in Monaco. So Team 1 used it last week, Team 3 this week, Team 2 Monaco. That's my plan for those three. Why Antonelli over Russell? Because on a sprint race weekend, there's less scoring opportunities for Russell to score more than Antonelli, and Russell is not a driver of the day favorite usually, and Antonelli's look very good in practice, and I'm also wanting Antonelli in Miami. Russell's look good in practice. What am I saying? They've looked pretty evenly matched in practice, so I don't think there's much in it, and I do want Antonelli in Miami. So as part of like setting up my team, realistically, it doesn't make sense for me to have Russell this week. You should in the future maybe create a screen where you show the answers to the most asked questions. That would be amazing and avoid people asking questions over and over. I try and answer a lot of these in the red bar on the bottom, the ticker, right? So it's like I would rank the template midfield picks as 1, 2, 3. Audi has great pace, but reliability is still a worry. I should probably just ignore those questions because they're in the ticker. Racing, and it's hard, like I guess it's also hard until you get to the stream, right? Who's asking what questions. So I would just say I'll answer as many as I can. I don't usually use until the last 30 minutes time for my team unless someone asks me about my team. Like the whole point of these Q&A streams are to help you guys. So if you're going to ask a question, I'll give you an answer. Thoughts on McLaren for Limitless? Yeah, Piastri I think is the only one I'd go through on Limitless. Claudio asks Lawson and Racing Bulls or Lindblad Haas. It depends what your transfers out are, but I think I like the Haas team more because you're not doubling up on a Racing Bulls. Worth it to go George and Kimi with Ferrari or George and Leclerc? George and Kimi, Holajimi or Holajimi, if I said that right. Carlos is saying, messed up earlier, meant I had Ferrari, Racing Bulls, Russell, Leclerc, Ocon, Bortoleto, Colapinto. Plan will be Russell, Antonelli, Bortoleto, Behrman. Yeah, Carlos, love that move, mate. AK, Russell, Hamilton, Behrman, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Ferrari, Audi. What to do here? 2 free transfers. I'd do the Bortoleto move for, depending on how much you have in the bank, Anurag, I'd say probably Bortoleto to, can you get to Colapinto? You probably could, right? You should be able to have enough in the bank to go Colapinto, AK. I'd probably go Bortoleto, Colapinto, roller transfer. What's the argument against Limitless if entire team is slated for budget rise? The only argument against it would be if it's not a Limitless track, a track that wouldn't work for Limitless, or if there's like a very mixed running order. So if we had 4 drivers from 4 different teams in the top 4, like if it was Max, Charles, George, Oscar, is extremely mixed on who's best, and that limits the ceiling upside for the Limitless and the constructors. So when you're activating Limitless, you want to very clearly define 2 best teams, and then the 5th pick is kind of your differential, who you think could do best between a McLaren driver and Verstappen. Well, at least that's the plan at the moment. So Andreezy, I hope that answers your question. Is swapping out Russell for Mercedes worth it if you have Kimi Ferrari? I mean, like, what would my team look like if I did that now? First of all, I wouldn't do it because it would be a -10 on Japan, and a -10 on a non-sprint weekend is just not worth it, in my opinion, for a premium constructor, because the ceiling is higher on a sprint. So, yeah, I just don't love swap. My team this week could look something like that and Bottas. I don't know. I don't love that. Not this week at least. Michael's got teams are in without any glitches. Glad we don't need any late weather reports. Get some sleep. Cheers, mate. I will, mate. I got a flight in 12 hours time across to Turkey. So anyone been to Istanbul? Any recommendations in Istanbul? I'm there for 5 days. So I'm glad I land, I think, in Istanbul at like 6 o'clock in the morning and the race is at 8 a.m. local time. So I'll be going straight from the airport, drop my bags at the hotel, then straight to a bar. I must look like such a degenerate watching Formula One at 8, 9 in the morning in Turkey. I have Antonelli, Russell, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Perez, Ferrari, Haas. Best move to make to set up for Ferrari, Mercedes, Antonelli. Best move for this week, Carl, would be Bortoleto out for... Depends how much money you've got, right, Carl? Can you get Colapinto in for Bortoleto? Otherwise, it's probably 2 transfers, right? It's probably Bortoleto, Lindblad out for Lawson and Colapinto, I'm guessing. Something like that. My team is going up the 3.6 million. In the past 10 minutes, I've gone for no way am I going limitless in Suzuka. It makes no sense, but now I'm thinking of doing it. Dean, it's the whole herd mentality. That's what it is. Herd mentality. I think limitless is perfectly fine. I don't know if Ewan or Rain. I know Rain's using limitless. I think Adam might be using limitless. I don't know what Ewan's doing. I think he was when we were messaging earlier. He said it might be. How many points does Audi need for a price rise? About 25. Come on, guys, give some love to Formula Fantasy Hub. We have 373 watching and 106 likes. That's all right, Mike. Likes are free, though. Rain is debating Norris for Limitless. Oh, good luck. Good luck, Rain. Does YouTube have a slash command feature? Could you do something like slash limitless and print your team out? Yeah, I guess I always put it in the ticker though. Jeremy, Mitre 10 King. What a way to start the weekend. I hope work was good, Jeremy. Hope you're well, mate. Good to have you in the chat as always. Great question though, RFT. I don't know if it has YouTube. I know Twitch has something like that where you just put slash. There are Sims out as well. I just saw a notification come through on the Discord. We'll check the Sims in just a second. Sims are, yeah, Max, perfect timing. Sims are out. Mike, okay, fine. I was like, we will check the Sims when we check the Sims, but there's about 6 people saying Sims, so let's hit that F5 or Control Shift R for the hard refresh. McLaren, yeah, there we go. Back down the pecking order, not quite as high. Oofed. So it's telling, yeah, no way I'm doing any of these moves. So optimal teams this week say Antonelli, Mercedes, Ferrari. I don't disagree. I think that's pretty optimal, but the budget loss from the Audi guys is pretty tragic. So if I force include Antonelli and I force include Charles, 207 at 2.92, which is pretty much, it's what, 20 points less, but you're losing out like 2.3 in value. So I just can't justify that, unfortunately. 20 points for like 2.5 million, not worth it. I'm pretty happy. If I force include Haas as my constructor, I'm not going to bring in Hulk. Hang on, isn't there a filter this year where you can convert price changes into expected price change points? I think this was it, right? Yeah, okay. So it's saying potentially. Yeah, but it's Hulk though. I don't want Hulk. I could do Colapinto. I just think I want that surety of, Yeah, see, like halfway down, it's the Bearman lineup I'm looking at. 207. It's 8 points less for a much higher price rise. I'm okay with the Bearman lineup personally. I'm gonna take that toggle off. Colapinto to Lawson. Yeah, Nicoletta. I think that's great. Bortoletto versus Perez. Perez, Evers. I think that answers Evan's question as well. Hair transplant. Okay. Super helpful. No worries, Andreezy. You got it. I currently have 3 transfers. How many transfers can I make to keep in Miami? You can make 2 this week. Istanbul is one of the coolest cities. I cannot wait to go to Istanbul. It's been on my travel bucket list for a few years now. And I've just heard great things about it. I've got, like, my great-great-grandfather lived there. So I'm kind of keen to check it out. Hair transplant while watching the F1 is a vibe, Alex. That's very funny. Thankfully, I have very good hair. Well, I mean, I'm not going to get too vain, but like I feel very blessed. I have good hair genetics. I don't need a transplant. Maybe I'll get a BBL or something. Don't they do those in Turkey as well? So I got a bit of a flat butt, so maybe I just need a bit of cake. That's probably what the trip to Turkey can do me for. Madav has Russell, Kimi, Lindblad, Bearman, Colapinto, Ferrari, Haas with 3 transfers. Should I switch to 2A constructor? I'd wait on the 2A for another week. Just plug the Limitless with that team, Madhav. Oh, but I guess you've got the 3 transfers, right? That's the thing. If you've rolled a third, then it kind of... Yeah. If you've rolled a third, you kind of want to use 2, right? But the team is so well set up. So you probably want to do like a Lindblad to Lawson. But then you're burning one anyway. See, that's kind of a similar boat I'm in right now. So my team 2, I should probably make these moves. We're less than an hour out from the deadline. I have 3 transfers for this team. But I don't have an obvious move except maybe Lindblad to Lawson. There's no obvious move for this team because... in Miami, I'd go 1, 2, Mercedes goes in here, and Hulkenberg there, and I'd roll another one. So, yeah, I think this one, I'm going to make this one transfer now on Lindblad. Actually, I'll just wait in case we have news. Actually, it doesn't matter because I can always reverse it. Remember with the new rules this year, it's like I haven't actually tried that out. So I'm going to lock that in now for this team. This is team 2. Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't do Lindblad to Lawson for a -10 though. Absolutely not. No way I would ever recommend -10 for any midfield drivers. LMK, switch Bortoletto for Perez. I'm head-to-head with only a couple of people. My competition has Antonelli 2x. Do I go the same or do I go Russell 2x? I would go Russell 2x. If you have Russell and Antonelli, I'm going Russell every day of the week. Lots of positive chat about Istanbul. I'm so lucky. I'm feeling like I'm pumped for these next few days. Glad, Mike, you think the same. You going anywhere near Perez this week, mate? No, sir. No, sir. I am not. Fake Rolex in Turkey, mate. Mike, I already have... Oh, do I have it here? No. Don't worry, I'm right back. I don't need to go to Turkey for a fake Rolex. I picked one off Canal Street in New York when I moved here 4 years ago for $20. It's gonna show up. There's nothing exciting or noteworthy about flexing a fake Rolex on camera or to anyone. Upgrade Lewis to Charles or not worth? Evan, if I would keep Lewis, I will say he wasn't overly confident in the car. However, if that's your only transfer for this week, I would. But if it's between Lewis and Charles and rolling a transfer, I just keep Lewis. Has anyone ever told you look like Francisco Trincao of Sporting CP? Who is? No, I've never heard that. Francisco Trincao of Sporting CP. That's funny. Chat, do I look like Francisco Trincao? Yes or no? I don't think I do, but I can see where you're getting it from. That's funny. It's definitely the moustache, though. My hair's longer than it's ever been at the moment. What do you do that allows you to travel like you do? I work in consulting, but I'm taking 2 weeks off work. Like strategy consulting. Yes. So do I look like this guy? I guess so, right? Very funny. Very funny. Alrighty. Great contribution there. Thoughts on triple V carb? I wouldn't do triple V carb. If anyone's wondering who this person is, I'm told I look like Trincao. If I'm probably mispronouncing it. Trinso? How do you? I'm sure there's a. It's Portuguese, right? It's Trinso. I know it's not Trincao. I know it's not. That's extremely uncultured of me to say it that way. But yeah, people in the chat are saying I think I'm about 40%. Yeah, AFN. I agree. I'm probably like 38 to 40%. I'm at. I'm not gonna say. That's funny. Funny from you, Stewie. Very funny. Which chips are recommended this week, or just I'm gonna go back to my team? But we now know I look like a football player. Which chips are recommended this race, or just save them? Limitless is the only one. CS Giller that people are thinking about. Grilled meats in Istanbul, apparently the best. Never been. I can't wait, Sim. I can't wait. I'm in Ireland. It's 5 a.m. I want to go to sleep. What's your likely team? My team is Antonelli and Behrman in for Russell Bortoletto. I could just put it in the ticker, honestly. Yeah, it's Russell Bortoletto out, Antonelli Behrman in. Wait, I live in NYC. Do you come to any of the F1 bars to watch? I help run one of them, the OG one. Yeah, I live in NYC. I live in New York, Matt. I think we established this on a stream last year. I didn't know. I would definitely go to I definitely watch a race in New York. I'm moving away from New York in June though. So I'm only here for 1 more month in May, and then I move to the UK. So I'm. You tell me the name of the bar. Oh, when you say the OG one, do you mean Failer in Midtown? That's. Oh no, the stream is gone. Oh, bloody hell. Are we up again? We're up. It dropped. And okay. The stream dropped and then it reconnected. I think we're still okay. Okay, the stream dropped on my side, but it looks like it's still going. Yeah. Okay, the stream looks like it's fine. It dropped for a second. Okay, it dropped on my side. OBS just had a moment. Yeah, Failer. All right, Matt, we'll do it. I'll see you there for Miami or Canada. Because when's the next race? Oh, what happened there? I just minimized my my thing. It's just next. Yes, it's schedule, right? I'd be back in New York late April. Yeah, I'll be around for the May race. Yeah, Matt, we'll do. I'll swing by for Miami or Canada for sure. We'll tee something up offline. But see you there, Failer. How good. Thoughts on taking a hit to do Kimi for Hamilton, Lawson for Lindblad, Perez for who? David, I wouldn't do a hit for Kimi. I wouldn't take Kimi out. Unless you're bringing Kimi in. And then who's the third transfer? Perez for who? Trinzao. Okay, Trinzao. Thank you for correcting me on the pronunciation, Tuano. I do apologize. Trinzao. Got it. Okay. They closed, but the owners are friends and they were open to Sister Bar a block away. Okay. Good to know. Because there was Stout right next door, which I've also watched Formula One at before. But I'll 100% swing by. I'll message you, Matt, or send me an email or something. I don't know if you follow me on Twitter. But yeah, we'll tee something up. Have I been to Old Mates? Yes. Best Australian pub in New York City. If you live in New York, you have to go to Old Mates. I mean, that's biased because I'm Australian and it's an Aussie pub. But I actually, it's 1:10. It's a Friday. I didn't even... Okay. I'm going to have a beer. But we do... Sorry, I've gotten up from this chair more times than I could count on this stream. We encourage very responsible drinking on this channel, but it is a Friday where I am. Well, it's Friday night, Saturday morning. And if it's somewhere where it's a reasonable hour to crack one open and bring in the weekend, cheers to that. Oh, that's good. Big Wave. Kona Big Wave. They're really nice. Russell and Bortoletto for who? I'm doing Russell and Bortoletto for Antonelli and Behrman. You rock, Alex. Just the team screen went blank. Okay, awesome. I'm moving to London, Turn Dog. Moving there in June at this point in time. Maybe July. Yeah, Matt. My Twitter is my Twitter handle is in my video description, but it's F_fantasy hub. Or just send me an email because I think that should be in my YouTube info. Limitless team is on the ticker, the red box at the bottom. Brady, Rob doing anything this stream? I'm definitely not gonna shoey it. I can tell you right now, I'm not gonna shoey it. But I thought I may as well have a beer. I'm not sculling it. Sorry to disappoint you, Gavin. You might have won my mini league in one previous season, but it's not going to convince me enough. Enjoy Turkey Trinsau. Very funny, Carl. Maybe I'll do a shoey on another stream. The flight is going to be nice. It's about 10 hours, I think, to Turkey. 10 hours to Istanbul. And then heading to Cape Town after, which would be nice. VCarb over Haas. I think if you've got Haas, I wouldn't trade them for VCarb. If you got VCarb, I wouldn't trade them for Haas. It's this relatively sideways trade, I think. Value. They're both going to go up 0.6 million. They're both pretty good assets to own. The only argument I would say going one over the other would be if you've got Lindblad and Lawson and VCarb, I probably wouldn't go down that route because it's a -40 to your score if one of the drivers DNFs. And you can see here, like, I am not doubled up. I mean, watch Behrman ruin my theory right now. But I try to have, he's probably the only driver in the B tier I would run a double up on the moment with the constructor. A nice nap indeed. I don't sleep very well on planes though. I'm like 6'3", so I need all the leg room I can get. And it doesn't make for a very comfortable flight when you're cramped into those tiny seats sometimes on those economy flights. So, is it better to save Limitless? Great question, Evan. I think it's very team dependent, which is the most cliche get out of jail answer I could give you. But I think the argument against it is just that this weekend is that Hamilton hasn't looked that great, or at least that confident. He looked better in free practice 3. I'll give him that, but he hasn't looked overly confident. He said on the radio he hasn't got a lot of confidence in the car. McLaren have looked a bit shaky. Lando's reliability was not good. Piastri has looked better, has looked quick, and I think triple Ferrari, triple Mercedes is still the go-to. The thing is with Max and Lando, they've almost excluded themselves from the Limitless conversation. Lando because he didn't get a lot of FP3 running, Verstappen because Red Bull looks tragic. So it's almost that Piastri is the default 5th driver. And that's kind of why people are on that right now. I would argue, though, that you could find an equally good opportunity in Canada or Monaco to use the Limitless. So yeah, there's options for sure. It's not simply just Japan. Is it worth doing Ferrari to Mercedes? I already have Russell as a driver, but no Ferrari drivers. No, I would wait, Kaiser, because I think you're going to want Ferrari and Mercedes in the next couple race weekends, and transferring one out for Mercedes just feels it doesn't feel like the best use of a transfer when you're going to want to have as many as possible for the Mercedes Ferrari pivot in a couple weeks. So if you've got Ferrari, I wouldn't be looking to sell them. I'm not overly ecstatic about this lineup, but especially when Mercedes do look so good. I see your argument. I see your point though, because Mercedes are a cut above the rest, to quote David Croft from Monaco. Terrible moment of commentary in Monaco a couple of years ago when he mentioned that about Leclerc's father. But Mercedes are a cut above the rest, and I would say it feels weird going away from their best driver to their second best driver and not having the constructor, but it's short-term pain for long-term gain, and being able to flexibly move into a Mercedes constructor with Ferrari next week is the plan. 2x Ant over Russell considering driver of the day. 100% Mojo. Definitely viable. Why are you cautious about... I'm not cautious about Mercedes Ferrari. It's just I don't have the team structure or the budget to do it comfortably. Yeah, I might be in London by the time Silverstone rolls around, because that's like July, isn't it? When is Silverstone? It's July? Yeah, first week of July. Yeah, I'll be there by then. I'm actually away that weekend though. Where am I? I'm somewhere in Europe that weekend, so I won't be able to make it to Silverstone. But I might think about going to Belgium. I might think about going to Spa this year. So that could be fun. That could be very fun. Ocon versus Hulkenberg. Ocon. Hey, Reese. Antonelli and Ocon, or Leclerc and Behrman. Thank you. I think I say Antonelli, Ocon, Reese. It depends on a couple of different things, though. I would say it depends on your budget. It depends on your moves in Miami. Is it bad to have triple hash right now? Otherwise, my team is exactly like your T2 minus Colapinto. Okay. It's not bad, but it is quite risky. Sorry, Rose. I saw your message before. I think you said you'd just woken up and joined the stream, but great to have you in the chat. You went triple RB in my team 3. Don't want to give up hope, but have to. I wouldn't stress. I'm sure we won't have any DNFs this weekend. There'll be 0 DNFs. Mark my words. 22 drivers finished the race in Japan. Actually, that's probably a good moment to do our F1 predict picks, because I haven't yet. Limitless on a sprint weekend, surely. Dominic, I would watch my Limitless guide from 2 weeks ago. There is absolutely an argument to use Limitless on a non-sprint weekend. And yeah, 100% Limitless now, because there's still... McLaren are bringing upgrades in Miami, so that complicates things. I mean, if they bring upgrades and McLaren are easily the second best team and Ferrari are not, then it's triple Mercedes, triple McLaren, right? But I think that complicates things. Ferrari are not to be ruled out because of their starts off the line. So they could, again, start 5th or 6th and be bailed out by how fast they are. So I think there's an argument to use it sooner, because we still know Ferrari and Mercedes are the 2 best teams at the moment. And yeah, Brattlesticks, exactly. Sorry, I think I answered your question. Would you take a -10 for this? Out Perez, Russell, Colapinto, in Leclerc, Lawson, Behrman. Thanks. Mario, I would take... Could you just do Perez, Russell out? Could you do Perez, Russell out for Leclerc, Lawson? I mean, I don't know if I'd love that though, because do you have any other Mercedes coverage? That's my only question. I wouldn't do a -10. I'd just not do the Lawson for Colapinto. If you could do Perez, Russell for Leclerc, Behrman, I'd do that. Anthony Hamilton smiles. Probably not Lewis Hamilton's father, right? Ferrari, V-Car, Russell, Ocon, Behrman, Lawson, Lindblad with 15 million. 15 million? Oh, Lord. That's a lot of spare money. I would definitely upgrade a Ocon to an Antonelli or something like that. Sprints have exceptionally high overtake, so maybe not worth it on sprints. Exactly. Nice work, Gavin. Locked in that transfer. Love to see it. Just saw the clip of David Coulthard saying, and here's Christina Aguilera feigning an interest in Formula One. Real. 2 transfers. Michael's asking, my team is Ferrari, Haas, Antonelli, Leclerc, Bam, and Ocon, Lawson. 2.1 in the bank. Just roll? Yeah, probably, mate. The thing is, Michael, I assume with that team and that budget, you're probably targeting Mercedes in Miami, right? And to do that with the team you do have, you would most certainly have to take a -10 in Miami, because you'd have to move out Haas, Leclerc, and I guess you'd probably want to use one. I would roll one, roll one, and I'd probably move out Ocon because you've already got Behrman and Haas, right? I mean, up to you. If I had that team, I would probably do Ocon to Colapinto. Spread the Haas risk, or like reduce the Haas risk, still have a used transfer, redistribute the funds, or have some more spare funds to redistribute in Miami. That would be my play if I had that team. For Limitless, the only thing keeping me from going for Piastri is he still hasn't started a race. Is he going to be able to keep up form? Yeah, but I think Oscar will 100%. I think he'll finish the race. There's next to no chance he doesn't finish the race in. Doesn't finish the race in Japan. Like, no chance. Keeping Bortoleto? No, I'm selling Bortoleto. But I should probably have just put my moves in the ticker. Hey, I didn't think about that. Let me see if I can do that live on screen. No, I'm not going to do it. I'll make the transfers in 10 minutes. Russell, Antonelli, Leclerc. I'm going to do that. Who takes pole position? Probably Russell. Limitless with Bortoleto. I mean, I don't love it. If I had Bortoleto, I probably wouldn't. But it depends on your budget, right? My budget's lower. So if I had Bortoleto and I went Limitless, I wouldn't. But if I had 105.5, 106 million or more, I'd be okay with considering it. 3 times Merc drivers don't use the 3x boost this weekend. Am I crazy to be considering the wildcard chip to save a -20 and get 4 transfers? I'd end up with Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Behrman, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto. I wouldn't use the wildcard on that Bryn. I would save the wildcard. Hulkenberg and Bortoleto are decreasing in value, so I just don't think it's worth it this week. I understand the point the argument in favor of going Mercedes, Ferrari this week, but to use a wild card on 2 drivers that are decreasing in value, I just don't think is the smartest way of using the chip. So, yeah, my 2 cents on that. I'm just kind of blindly putting in these predictions as well. So follow along if you think I'm right or wrong. Who will set the fastest lap? Probably George. Which driver finishes ahead in the Grand Prix? Gasly. Will the safety car or VSC be required? Yes, 100%. How many classified finishes? 17. Which of these teams will score the most points? McLaren. I'm going to apply that chip. Finish. Okay. Well, that was the most laissez-faire F1 predicts. Cadillac goes a whole race. 2? What? All right, Mike. Thank you for dropping by, mate. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you soon. Enjoy the quali show. It starts in 5 minutes anyway. Should I keep Piastri? I probably would if you've held him for as long as you have. If you've had him the first 2 races, it's been probably a rough first 2 races. I would probably get rid of him personally. 85 enough of a delta for Limitless? Yeah, I think so. It's fine. Like, it's not amazing. Could be better. You reckon Leclerc, Antonelli for 2x? Antonelli for sure. Semicolon, what do you think about this team? I wouldn't use the no negative. Even with triple V carb, I wouldn't. I'd save it for a wet race or a sprint weekend. I'm tripling up on V carb. I'm praying for you. Anyone running triple V carb. Rose, no DNFs, you say that, but watch me get some. Oh, I am so ready for some DNFs. I mean, there are some people out there that have 106 million in value, have not had a DNF and are sitting top 10k in the world. Like, go away. Leave me alone with all that good luck you guys have. Here am I just like treading water at 15,000 after kind of mid-limitless. But anyway, still 350 of you watching. So it's pretty good for a Friday night, Saturday morning. It's almost 2 in the morning. Goodness me. 150 likes on the stream. And 1 new member in Jeremy. Shout out to Jeremy. Low-key regretting playing my Limitless in China. It's what can you do, right? There'll be people that play Limitless this weekend and get hit with a DNF. So I wouldn't stress too much about it. I mean, I've got second thoughts about it, but it's a game. So that's just how it goes. What's your final team one looking like? Are you doing 1 or 2 transfers? 2 transfers. Russell, Bortoletto out. Antonelli, Bamman in. Jack with the super chat. Thank you, Jack. Very generous. You didn't have to do that, but it's much appreciated all the same. What's your lineup looking like? Russell, Leclerc, Lawson, Lindblad, Bamman, Ferrari, Red Bull, Racing Bull. 105.7. 3 free transfers. Mate, you have such a good team set up right now. I think with that structure, you could easily pivot to Mercedes in Miami. I'm just thinking about what you can do. My thoughts are to roll one of I don't think you need to use all 3 transfers this week, Jack. I would say Lindblad is probably a transfer out because you've got a triple up on Racing Bulls. So I would think about considering Lindblad out for Colapinto, hedge the risk. Even though Colapinto hasn't looked all that great in free practice, he will probably start low, but you can tell you know from what we've seen from Pierre Gasly, the potential of that car. Like, there's a lot of pace in the Alpine that Colapinto just hasn't unlocked yet. And given he's, 0.4 cheaper than what's Lindblad? Yeah, so Colapinto's 7. So you got 0.4. You unlock 0.4 million to save in for Miami. The other thing would be potentially consider moving out with the money you've got spare, assuming you've got money spare, go Leclerc to Antonelli. So you're covering off 2 Mercedes assets, reducing your Racing Bulls exposure, and you're still carrying through a 3rd transfer for free in Miami. I think that would set you up really perfectly for Mercedes. So Jack, hope I answered your question. Thank you very much for the super chat. Much appreciated. One last question, Mike. Would it be too crazy to 2x Ant over Russell? Not at all, Mike. I think the thing is, I backed George for the fastest lap. I backed Kimi for the driver of the day. The thing is, Kimi was really quick in FP3 as well. I think Antonelli has the highest ceiling but the lower floor. George is just the safe. I've said it before. George is the safe, boring F1 fantasy asset that will score you 27 to 35 fantasy points most race weeks. And if he secures fastest lap, that's 45. So he could do that. And realistically, it feels like I said before, it doesn't sit well with me that I'm trading out George Russell and not owning the Mercedes constructor. But I guess I've got him covered on Limitless on my Team 3. I think I will be 2xing Antonelli though, which I probably need to make my trades. Far out, it's 1:30 in the morning. I need to go to bed. 106.2, nice one, Birdie wins. 2x on Russell Antonelli. Russell, on your T1, would it be worth swapping Leclerc, Bortoletto to Ocon Behrman to reach Hulk instead of Perez with a -10 next week? No. I am not taking out Leclerc for a B-tier driver. It just doesn't make a lot of sense for my team personally. But I understand, Hank, the thought there. I just think I'm leaving a lot of points on the table. Log Snacks needs help. I got Russell Antonelli, Lindblad, Lawson, Bortoletto, Ferrari. Audi should have taken -10. Do Audi, Bortoletto, Russell to Haas, Behrman, Hamilton, or Antonelli, Bortoletto to Leclerc, Colapinto. Log Snacks, I would do the Haas, Behrman. I would do the Antonelli, Bortoletto to Leclerc, Colapinto, I think. Or just Bortoletto to Perez. I would consider doing Bortoletto to Perez. Log Snacks. Leclerc and Bortoletto out for Kimi and Hulk. Sure. Yeah, sure, Pella. Matt, thank you, mate. Donation. Appreciate it. Very, very much appreciate it. I'll shout you a beer at the F1 bar when I catch you there for Miami or Canada. Appreciate it all the same. Mercedes V Cup, Kimi, Lewis, Behrman, Lawson, Bottas. I need to use wildcard to do it, but it's tempting, mate. I get it. I love everything about that, like everything about that, except for the Bottas. I mean, it's probably worth it. It's tricky. I don't say it with a lot of conviction because you're using a wild card this early in the season where I think it's going to be more valuable later in the year. And I also think Bottas is, he's a bit of a sinking stone. That's a terrible analogy. I'm not wholly convinced because Bottas has what, 3? I guess he has. So let's say we just take this out and he gets 3 in China, right? And he goes to 4.1. Bottas still needs 6 points for a minimum rise in Miami. Not impossible, but there's a lot of risk. Like, that car really is falling apart. I don't think I'm convinced on Bottas at all. And it just, I'm not sure, mate. I think I see where you're going, and I really like the Mercedes Kimi double up because no one except limitless teams are going to be running that. And Lewis too. So you got some Ferrari coverage, and Behrman and Lawson. The thing is, I will say it's going to be very hard to get from Mercedes. I mean, could you go, Lewis and V-Carb to Ferrari and someone else next week in 2 moves? Because then maybe it's worth it. But if you're using a wildcard and then having to take a -10 the week after using the wildcard, it probably isn't the best use of the chip. So I'd say do it, but you kind of do it if you really want to. The thing is, for 2 things, I think it makes sense. I think there's a lot of points to gain. I just think 1, Bottas is kind of a value drain, and 2, unless there's a plan in place to get to Mercedes Ferrari in 2 moves in Miami, I'm not sure I'd use the wild card just for like a 1 week band-aid fix, if that makes sense. Hopefully that answers your question, or at least gives you some food for thought. Don't trust me. Like, what do I know? I just look at a screen and talk nonsense about F1 fantasy every week. When in the season are you aiming to pivot for 4A? When I've got the money to, Anthony Hamilton, I think it's probably going to be around Silverstone, Singapore. One of those sprints is the ideal timing for 4A. It'll depend on budget increases though. Colapinto better, but Lindblad Prob gets a 0.6 rise. Threshold's only 5. Yeah. I missed a couple of questions. Jeremy, would you swap Bortoletto to bring in Perez? Thinking budget. Sorry if you had to answer. Yeah, I'd go Bortoletto, Perez for sure. Sim giving -3 to Perez and then he does +20 because everyone else DNFs. What about overtakes? People say it's a low overtake circuit. There will be some overtakes, but it'll still be relatively low. I think Colapinto versus Lindblad, Colapinto, Lawson versus Colapinto, Lawson. I have Lindblad and V-Carb in my team. Too risky to play limitless. Not at all. Not at all. Hey, mate, should I do a bad start? Need to bounce back. What should I do? Bad start. Need to bounce back. Hat McWindy, I need to know your team before I answer questions. Bottas is only because budget. Yeah, that's true. I get it, Matt. I get it. Then, I'd pull trigger, mate. Go wild card. Have some fun. I'd do it. Yeah, 100% do it. I need to make these transfers. And I don't know if there's any news. Let's see if there's anything from Medland. Okay, that's big. Lando Norris is on his third energy store. He will receive penalties for any additional changes from now to the end of the season. Wow. Norris grid penalty on a sprint race weekend in like Silverstone. Feasting. All right. Let's see. What are the where are the Medland notes? Almost time to lock in. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Where is Medland? Nothing from Medland. I don't think there's much news. I don't know if you guys have seen any late mail, but yeah, nothing from Chris. So anyway, I probably get these transfers locked in now then. Plan for Miami is Mercedes constructor. All right, I'm going to post my team in maybe 10-15 minutes. Quarter miles. Ferrari V-Carb, Russell, Behrman, Lawson, Leclerc, Colapinto. Thoughts? Love it. 100%. Big fan. Neo-cynical. 5:30 in the morning, mate. It is ridiculous, isn't it? I guess London's 4 hours ahead of New York at the moment. Why Perez so low on Sims? Because of the Cadillac DNF risk. All right, more questions. Philip, how are you, mate? Albino, I have triple Haas, triple Ferrari, and Lindblad. Limitless last week, 106 in the bank. What would you do? I'd probably sell Ocon for Colapinto or Lawson and try and get Antonelli in there somehow for Hamilton. Hi Rob, always a pleasure watching you. 6:30 a.m. So Mario, you're probably somewhere in Europe. I'm guessing like France, Italy, somewhere east of London. Thoughts on Checo? I mean, he's fine. I think the Sims are, I get it. I think there's some understandable risk with Checo because of the Cadillac reliability. Like that car is made of paper. So yeah, this is quite a stress-free deadline stream. I don't mind that at all. This is my likely team as well, guys. Yeah, I think Checo's fine. It's just, and his threshold for a price rise is not too high. It's just the obvious Cadillac reliability concerns. What's your plan for Miami? It'll be Leclerc Haas out for hopefully Mercedes Hulkenberg or Mercedes Hulkenberg and probably move Lindblad out too for Bortoletto or someone or Perez or Bottas. Hi mate, how's it going? Oh, I think I answered that one. 173 likes, guys. 440 of you still here. So if you haven't liked the stream, please drop a like on the way out, or on the way out, way in. 200 likes would be nice. Triple Haas, Behrman, Ocon. Triple Haas or Behrman, Ocon, V-Carb? I would do Behrman, Ocon, V-Carb. What kind of news? I'm just looking for random news on reliability and such. So adjust to Antonelli, Russell, Behrman, Lawson, Colapinto, Ferrari, and Racing Bulls. Yeah, Jack, if you have the budget for the Antonelli, Russell, Ferrari, Racing Bulls, I'd 100% do that. 100%. Nixie's limitless thoughts, fifth driver. If Max qualifies P7, finishes at how many points does he lose on McLaren driver? Should we just gamble on Max dropping back again? Maybe. I'm not so sure. I said this last week, to be fair, about Max. I'm just turning on the TV broadcast in the background. You won't hear anything though, I promise. The thing with Max is though, the car is just so slow. It's just so pedestrian, and he's got no confidence in it. He's on the radio to GP saying how terrible it is to drive. What's this? Oh, it's a replay of Lando's start in free practice. I just think the Red Bull's just not it this week. So, yeah, I think it's got to be a McLaren driver. And I'm only going off free practice, right? And Lando, I mean, it's funny though, because like Lando was out of FP3, but, you know, does that problem persist? Does he is it resolved? If they've got it resolved, does it mean he drives better in what am I saying? In the race? I don't know. The thing is, someone said this in the commentary before. It's like if a driver has issues, setup issues or mechanical issues in free practice that they've adjusted to driving with, and then the car has to get changed because of other mechanical or aerodynamic problems, they're driving a completely different setup in qualifying, and then obviously they're not as comfortable, so their lap times are not going to be as fast. I think Piastri just feels more at ease at the moment, and like no chance he DNFs doesn't start 3 races in a row. So yeah, I think it's Piastri is like process of elimination, Nixie. Hulk this week if it enables Ferrari Mercedes. I'd just wait one more week, power hut. My budget is 105.4 with Antonelli. Hang on, I missed this one. I got a couple questions I need to catch up on. Opinions on Lindblad. He's a keep. Unless you've got other... I think like he's fine to hold. I'm holding him. But I'd also consider moving him to Colapinto potentially. Sorry, I had more questions. Matthew's asking, budget with Antonelli, Russell, Behrman, Perez, Lawson, Ferrari, Racing Bulls. I've used my transfers, but to transition to a double constructor, I have to drop my Russell to Hulkenberg. Any thoughts? I just wait, Matt. One more week. Thoughts on Lindblad? Answered that. Xinghang, Russell, Leclerc, Behrman, Lawson, Colapinto, Ferrari, V-Carb. Looks great. Love that team. Sorry, can I ask again? Hi, Rob. 3 transfers. Bowie Knife. Sorry, I missed your question, Bowie Knife. Ferrari, Haas, Antonelli, Leclerc, Behrman, Lindblad, Bortoletto. Should I switch Lindblad and Bortoletto to Ocon and Lawson for budget building and roll one? Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I'd do the Ocon Lawson switch, 100%. The thing is though, I guess if you're rolling one, it's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. If you've got 2 transfers, Ocon's a transfer out next week, but I think you've got a third, so it makes it more flexible. Is it worth to upgrade Leclerc to Russell and sacrifice Behrman and Ocon to Colapinto and Perez? I just keep Leclerc, honestly. The thing with this track is, right, if Ferrari are third, Leclerc gets a good start. He could hold up Antonelli or Russell for a lot of the race. So it's harder to pass here. So I think, I just keep Leclerc, honestly. Thoughts on Sainz and Bortoletto to Lawson and Colapinto? I'd do that, Kaiser. Definitely move off Sainz and Bortoletto. Mate, I have the same team as you, but removing Russell is a mistake. I think, yeah, I mean, it could be. It could really backfire. Could really backfire, Pedro. I think, is you removing Russell? I think, yeah, look, I genuinely do think Russell has he's the safe, boring pick over Antonelli, but I do want a forward plan for Miami, and there's only one way to do that this week, and it's removing Russell for Antonelli, so I'm not stoked about it. Oh, Ryder. I've never been able to pronounce your name, mate. I went... Ryder? I've always said Ryder, but I think that's what most people have said to me, so it's just kind of been ingrained. And then, for those of you who don't know, again, I'm probably mispronouncing his name, but Ryder is this, if it's the same person who I think it is, who does the Sims for F1 Fantasy Tools. And he suggested in the chat that, sorry, let me find his stream contribution again. I've missed it. Oh God, I've missed it. There you go. You can toggle no negative in the team calculator. So the suggestion from Ryder about 4 minutes ago was if you toggle the no negative, you can see what their expected points are when you remove that from the calculation. And Perez, who was previously -3, is now up to 3 points. So it's kind of, I'm probably not doing the best job of explaining, but ultimately it's just removing any of those negative points assumptions from the simulator, and that's why now in activating no negative, not that I would really suggest it given it's not a wet race weekend, you can see that Perez is 3. If you take the toggle off, it should go down to -3. Yeah, -3.3. So great contribution in the chat by Ryder. Again, I probably mispronounced it, so I apologize, mate. Morning, Lewis. How are you? I got some questions to catch up on. Uh, 400, almost 500 people watching. Nice. Very nice. Alrighty. I've got to actually lock my team in. That's what I have to do. Deadline's in 15 minutes. I'll do 2, 3, 4 minutes of questions, and then I'll lock my team in. All right. Okay, I won't be able to get to every question because there's hundreds coming through now, which is great. Why am I not 1A2A? Because it's a week early for that. No idea what moves to make. What moves you suggest? Colapinto instead of Behrman allows you to go 2A constructor and Hockenberg with 2 transfers. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But I need budget assurity because I'm a bit behind on budget at this point in the season. Should I change Bortoletto for Lawson? Yes, I would do that. 0.6 second lap advantage is still not sufficient to overtake Leclerc. It probably is, honestly. Probably is. So you're switching out Russell and Kimi for Behrman and Bortoletto. Yep, that's my transfers on team on screen. Still not sure whether to go Lindblad, Lawson. I'd go Lindblad to Lawson, Lewis. 3x on Russell, 2x Leclerc. No, I would not use the 3x boost chip this weekend. Save it for a sprint, my friend. Okay. Brattle Sticks. I wish there was a way to see your total cap without having to remove everything. But you can do that in F1 Fantasy Tools. If you go over to the team calculator or your team analyzer, it'll tell you, team analyzer is probably the best one for this. It'll tell you your cumulative cost cap week to week if you're a member of or a subscriber to F1 Fantasy Tools. And if you want to do that, Hub 50 for 50% off your first month. Details of that are in the description below. Limitless picks are on screen. My team and plan moves are on screen. Hey man, I have Russell with Leclerc at the moment. 2 transfers left. Should I go for Ferrari, Mercedes, Antonelli with a 10-point penalty or keep Leclerc with Ferrari? I would save the... Oh my god, I lost my mark in the chat. I wouldn't take a -10 for Mercedes Ferrari this week. Thank you, Sim. Appreciate the gas and up as always. Almost 500 people watching for a pretty quiet Friday night, Saturday morning. 200 likes on the video. Very good, very good. I'm doing Russell and Antonelli. Who to 2x? Russell. Another -10 combination. Out Russell, Bortoletto, Perez, in Leclerc, Behrman, Lawson. I mean, could you just take out Bortoletto and put in Colapinto potentially? Do you have the budget for that? Like I said, if you're removing Russell, I'd really only be doing it for Antonelli. Otherwise, I just don't know if it's worth it. F1 Fantasy site crashed. Did it really? Well, I may as well lock it in now then. It's 10 minutes to go until the deadline. Let's just do that. All right, team's locked. That was easy. Do you think it's better to have Russell and Kimi with Ferrari and Haas or RB or Mercedes? Definitely the Russell and Kimi with Ferrari, 100%. I have a constructed third team of Mercedes Ferrari. Who should I 2x? Behrman, Lawson, Lindblad, Colapinto, Ocon. Leaning towards Behrman. Yeah, Behrman in that case. So you're going to Kimi instead of Russell, so you can go Mercedes and Ferrari Miami. That's correct, Zach. That's the plan. 2x on Antonelli or Leclerc. Antonelli. Triple Haas, triple Ferrari. I'm going to go Hammy for Kimi, then hope to change Ferrari Mercedes next race. Sounds good, Albino. Hi, Rob. I have Russell, Leclerc, Bortoletto, Lindblad, Behrman, Ferrari, V-Cub. What moves do you suggest? Thinking of prepping for Miami. That's very prudent. I would probably remove Bortoletto in that case. Depending on how much money you have, potentially a Colapinto swap there. And Lindblad for Lawson. Would that enable that? I think that could potentially work. Alternatively, Lindblad for Lawson and Leclerc for Antonelli. I don't know. You'd want to get rid of Bortoletto, wouldn't you? Yeah, I'd focus on the Bortoletto Lannister. Stewie Lambino. 106.6, Kimi, Russ, Colapinto, Bam, and Lindblad for 8 VCAP. I'll just go law for Lindblad and keep. Sounds good. Yeah, rolling a transfer, very smart. Everyone's going limitless with the same team. Now I'm considering not doing it and go differential. Yeah, sounds perfectly fine, Micah. Ashley, good day from Tassie. Very nice. Do love Tassie. Would you swap Leclerc for Antonelli and Lawson for Lindblad to go with Ferrari and VCARB? Russ, Bam, and I might have to post my team as well. Leclerc for Antonelli and Lawson for Lindblad to go with Ferrari, VCARB, Russ. Yeah, that looks great. That's really good, Ashley. Definitely do that. My teams are all locked in. Those are my final teams for this week. I wish I had the budget to even think about going Mercedes Ferrari this week, but not to be. All right. The teams are locked in. Okay, where's my I should have done this before the screen. Before the stream. Okay. Well, I'm just locking in my team on my phone. Bortoletto for Behrman. I can see questions coming in and I'm going to answer them in just a second. We have 8 minutes, so I promise you I will be there. I should have done this before the stream. I knew this would happen. And look at me now, panicking while I get this up. And forward. Robert. Okay, next question. Everyone is going limitless. I think I answered that. I think, yeah, actually, I like those moves for sure. I have Russell, Antonelli, Lawson, Bam, and Hulkenberg, Ferrari Racing Bulls. Sim, I would only consider moving out Hulkenberg. Limitless, if you don't use it this week, Monaco and Canada are potential alternatives. On suggestions, getting to Ferrari and Mercedes without a wildcard team is your team too with Ocon instead of Franco. It's going to be hard to do it in 2 moves, I think. Would you roll the transfer or use it for Colapinto to Perez? I'd roll the transfer. B team is locked. Colapinto or Lawson. I think it's Lawson for me this week. Rose. Bortoletto to Hulkenberg or Colapinto for budget building. Colapinto, Mondier. Can you get Mercedes Ferrari with Perez, Colapinto, Bam, and Lawson Antonelli for -10? Worth it? Yeah. Yeah, that's actually really good. If you can get Mercedes Ferrari Perez for -10, I don't hate it. Personally, I don't hate it because most people will be doing that from -10 next week. So if you can get a week ahead and you've got a very good team, like a lot of those assets, all of those assets are likely to rise in price. Unseen architecture, I think that's really good. Forward planning for Miami. The team up for budget and transfer flexibility. But Russell out for Kimi doesn't feel great. Okay. Team is just about to be posted. Colapinto or Lawson. Started the stream at 5 a.m. Fell asleep. Woke up now. Hope it was a good one. Thanks, Frederick. Appreciate it, mate. Same team as you, Russell, Bortoletto, but haven't used Limitless. Yeah, worth it this week, or should I switch? I would just take Bortoletto out of your team. Archit. Sorry. I think it's probably not worth the pain of having to suffer another 0.6 if you can avoid it. So I would just use the Limitless in Miami, Canada, or Monaco at this point. Okay. Team should be up. Alrighty. Posted. Alright, get those teams locked in. Why is Hulk better than Gabby? I mean, I don't love either of them personally, but Hulkenberg's DNF drops off his trailing average next week, and so next race, so it makes him better in terms of a kind of expected transfer that you'll make anyway. I think, yeah, you're kind of picking 2 very bad assets for budget building this week, but I'd take Hulkenberg over Gabby for price and for expected transfers in. Lindblad or Colapinto? I've got I've got it in the ticker, Colapinto. Did I play any rugby? Yeah, I did. I played rugby all through high school. I started in the forwards, second row, number 8, and then as I got older and hated taking, I hated running the ball, and I hated I hated the lineups. I don't know why. I was the tallest guy in the team, so I was always in the lineup. Ended up moving to playing the centers and fullback as I got older. Also meant I didn't have to take as many heavy hits in the forward pack. Ashley, I will absolutely hit you up if I'm in Tasmania anytime soon. I don't think I will be because I'm... actually, to be fair, I'm back in Australia in 4 weeks. But I won't be making it as far south as Tasmania, just Sydney for me. Bortoletto for Perez or save the transfer and roll to Miami? I do Bortoletto to Perez, Mario. Does it make sense to run triple Papaya on Limitless? Absolutely not. I would do triple Ferrari, triple Mercedes, and Oscar Piastri. Get those teams in, guys. 3 minutes. If you're still watching and you haven't liked the stream, please do. Through 300 of you, 250 likes. Much appreciated. Been another good stream, but certainly one of the less stressful ones for me. I am glad I kind of came in with an idea in mind and just moved forward. Pulled the Limitless trigger, best to 3x. It's always the most stressful race. Yeah, Limitless is always stressful. A beast. I played 9 in high school and college. Nice, mate. Very nice. Mate, scrum half, most important position on the field, or one of them for sure. Yeah, what a stream, guys. Does McLaren have the pace? I don't think they do, personally. I think Oscar has the pace. Lando probably will be there. Like, knowing Lando, he'll be in the mix. But I think Oscar will be on balance better than Norris through the season. He's got a bit of catching up to do. But I don't think Oscar at season end will finish ahead of Lando in the driver's standings. Thank you, Claudio. Appreciate it. No 3x chip. I wouldn't use 3x this week, Drakowson. It's Limitless is really the only chip people would be using. Rose, I don't know if I answered your question, but between Colapinto and Lawson. Okay, went Lindblad to Lawson on T2, but left Team 1 alone. Enjoyed quality, mate. Thank you, Lewis. Appreciate it as always, mate. Hope you're cooking up another curry today. Mate, those curries look bloody good. I'm bloody impressed. I move around everywhere except front row in high school. Love fullback the most. Mate, if you're playing front row and fullback, that's an extremely versatile skill set you've got, Anthony. Full credit to you. I think the thing, I was never a great rugby player, but I as I got older and other people got bigger and stronger, I kind of fell away. But I fortunately had over the course of playing rugby I started playing when I was 8 and I finished when I was 18. Like in 10 years of playing rugby, at various points in the 10 years, I'd played all 15 positions, which is kind of hilarious to think about. But yeah. Anyway, Kaveri, sorry. Thank you so much for dropping in. Thanks for the fun stream. Food poll next time. Sorry, I didn't do any polls this weekend, but 55 seconds, get those teams locked in. We'll do more polls for sure next stream. Mario, don't know if I answered your question, but definitely do Perez for Bortoletto. Madras time, very nice, Lewis, very nice. Enjoy it. Was 3x chip a waste for China? It's my first. No. 3x chip was not a waste, Jack. I mean, it depends on who you used it on. If you used it on like Kimi and George Russell, or Kimi and Leclerc, or Russell and Leclerc, I think it would have been great. But if you used it on like Verstappen and Norris, perhaps not so much. Kenway, if I make swaps before activating Limitless, do those transfers not count? Correct. So if you have 3 transfers and you activate Limitless, you only have 2 after Limitless. If you make transfers before Limitless and then activate the Limitless, you will not have those transfers when the team unlocks. Your team will be the team you had in China. 5 seconds ago, guys. Get those in. Good luck. I've been robbed of my pizza pasta poll. Sorry, Jack. Sorry, I probably missed your questions, Jack. Make sure you put them in the chat next time. I'll be sure to, if you guys have any suggestions for polls, please do suggest them. I think I might have gotten Cook sadly if that's true because I had Gabby swapped him out and then you gotta, teams a lot, guys. Gotta get those toxic assets out of your team. Anyway, not to worry. Yeah, Jack, you would have been fine. 2x on Russell, 3x Russell, 2x Leclerc. That's fine. That's by no means a failure at all. Yeah, guys, qualifying starting. It's 2:00 where I am, and the deadline has passed, as you can see here on screen. So, again, if you enjoyed the stream, drop a like on your way out. It'd be great to get to 250, but thank you all for watching. We've got another 4 weeks off, which is crazy to say, between now and Miami. So I'll do my best to keep content going. I'll be traveling a lot for the next month, between Asia, Africa, and Australia, but I will be very much pumping content. I got a collab coming out with one of your favorite F1 fantasy content creators. You probably know his name. He has a very big channel. If you follow Ewan, but more on that later. But yeah, guys, thanks again. As I said, drop a like. More content on the way. More deadline. There'll probably be a Q&A stream at some point in the next 4 weeks, just to touch base with everyone, see how they're all enjoying the 4 weeks off, and we'll grab. Good luck with your teams, of course. There's not much else to really say, but if you follow me on Twitter as well, there'll be plenty of content there. But I'll let you enjoy your weekend, your qualifying. I can see Liam Lawson out on track now, so I'll let you guys get to it. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Good luck with your teams this weekend, guys, and I will see you all very, very soon.